World of Rock Records podcast. Danny Pinn, he's on the line via Skype. What up, dude?
Hey Jay, how's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah, really good.
It's what is it? 11 p.m. or almost 11:30 p.m.
Yeah, nearly 11:30 at night
in Sydney. It's 9:30 in the morning here. I'm still waking up. I'm having coffee. You're probably getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite.
You said this is what, your third podcast you're doing today?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I've had a bit of a schedule and a bit of work in between. So you got to make hay while the sun shines, as they say.
Well, you're the host of Fizz Button Radio, one of my favorite podcasts. You also host the Pinpoint, and you said you host a new football podcast with who? What was it? Your brother?
Yeah, my brother. Yeah, who was recently on Fizz Button Radio, and so we did that tonight as well.
And you had me on a few times, some with technical difficulties, some without.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're actually, Fizz Button is making the second World of Rock compilation possible. You're doing the artwork. We're borrowing your comics that you drew over, what was it, 2012 or 13, that you drew a comic a day every day for a year.
That's right. So January 1st, I had a New Year's resolution, last year it was, 2013, to do a comic every day for the year. The only rule I had was that the comic had to be drawn that day. I couldn't draw, say, 5 in one day and just dribble them out. It had to be done each day, and I managed to stick with it. And at the moment, I'm just trying to get them all into a book, which I hope to have out as soon as I can. I really want to get it out soon. So that's another iron I've got in the fire at the moment.
There you go.
Trying to,
all those comics they're on your Instagram. Is that the only place you posted on? Did you post them every day, just in that one spot?
I did. I took a photo of them every day, and that's how I got them on there. And so there was Instagram, and then I put them onto Twitter and Facebook as well. Well, it kind of started out as an exercise, and then partway through the year, I realised that what I was doing was, or what I was going to end up with, was a book. Which kind of with that end in mind, it kind of gave me a little bit more of a push to, like, I really have to get this going, because I can wind up with a tangible object at the end as a product. But yeah, when I heard about your music, I realised that you had the same sort of thing in mind. Kind of the way Louis C.K. does his comedy a little bit. He'll book his venues without having any material planned. So he does a whole new hour every year. So it's that kind of thing. You set yourself a deadline and just do it.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with that. So I mean, it's deadlines can motivate you, but they can drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Depending on how hard you are on yourself, I mean, they can really you can kind of do some damage if you're not careful.
Well, if you don't do it properly, one thing it can do is make you put out substandard work which isn't up to scratch, and you're just putting it out just because you've got this arbitrary deadline. Mm-hmm. It worked with me for the comics, because if I didn't hit it out of the park one day, I've got another day the next to make up for it. You can kind of skip past it, and
and like you said, it's an experiment.
Yeah.
So you went into it thinking it's an experiment, and you ended up with a large collection of something that you can turn into something else now because of
That's right.
And then you kind of find the art value after. That's funny, because I was talking to Tracy from Weekly Fascination.
Oh yeah.
And I was talking to him about the same thing, and he writes and he records music, and you do that too. We were talking about how you can assign an artistic or meaning to the piece afterward, instead of having it and cultivating it and making one that already exists in your mind manifest. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah. Well, you can wind up with something you didn't even have in mind.
Right.
Something can just emerge if you're not too precious. Sometimes you can strangle the life out of something by making it become the thing that you had in mind.
Yep.
right from the get-go.
Yep.
If you let it come out, then you can wind up with something you didn't even realise what it was going to be.
Yeah, and there are a million ways to go about creating something, and I mean, the meaning can come before, it can come during, it can come after. And at the end of the day, there are really no rules. So, I mean, it's really up to you, and everything's subjective anyway. So, none of it matters.
That's right.
None of it matters.
Yeah, yeah. That's the beauty of it.
We're gonna take your comics, and we'll chop
cool.
them up and use them as the booklet. I still got to put the booklet together. Man, I got a lot of work to do over this next week. And I got to sell some Wellington tickets for Bass Clink we got coming up.
Oh, right.
Man, there's a lot going on.
It is good to have this kind of stuff happening. Like, I know a lot of people that don't indulge in projects like this, and I find it very invigorating.
Do you ever drive yourself crazy? Do you ever sort of book yourself book too many things going on at once, and then end up saying, "Oh my God, how did I get myself into this hole?"
I kind of felt a little bit like that today, but I just didn't think about it too much. I just went, if I just pace myself, I can get through it. And I'm glad that I did, because, it's been a very fruitful day. And you're going to be tired anyway, so why not be tired with something under your belt to show for it?
It's a good way of looking at it.
That's what I say. Yeah.
How many episodes are you in for Fizzbutton?
I think
what's the number?
On the weekend was 31.
Nice.
Pinpoint's longest running one I've got. That's 125.
See, tell me more about the Pinpoint, because I just downloaded 3 episodes the other day. I didn't even get to listen to them yet. I never heard it. I've been a Fizz wizard for a while. I haven't heard I haven't heard the Pinpoint yet. They're short. Do you just kind of do them on the fly whenever you feel like it?
Yeah, it started out as a precursor to Fizzbutton, where it just started out as a radio show. I had no one listening, and which it kind of laid the foundations for the skill base you need to be able to do this Fizzbutton. So, but what I wanted to do was make it a podcast interview style, which I had going for a little while, and then it morphed again and again. But what it is at the moment is when I get off the train at the end of the day, from there to home, I record an episode as I walk. So it's on the run. So as I'm walking along the road, I'm recording these episodes. So it's just little snapshots out of my day. I might come up with a topic during the day or something to talk about, or someone might give me a topic. Adam Adds has done it a couple of times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you always record them at the same time and during the same sort of... Is it always happening? Yeah.
Yeah, usually I do it just as I get off the platform of the train, and I hit record. The software I've got works on my phone. I don't do any editing. I just roll the music all in as I'm walking along. Yeah, I do it all because I just don't have time to edit. So I've got to...
Right.
It's got a console on it, like a DJ console.
Have you ever thought about giving any of your shows like a visual counterpart, like video-wise, or is that kind of too much? That's a pain, because I'm doing that for this one. I'm going to see how it works.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, during this interview, there's probably going to be, like, a static graphic up. But during the rest of it, I mean, I've been filming footage every day, and just for something for, the video feed, so you can upload it to YouTube and not have one thing sitting there the whole time. Have you ever thought about doing, like, a visual?
I just dabbled with it recently. I grabbed a little portion out of Constantine Ray. I just got the little part of it where he was talking about Public Enemy, and just introduced some
that's
some
on the
movement. Site. Yeah. I couldn't do it for the whole thing, and also I get a little bit iffy about including commercial music when I upload to YouTube and iTunes.
Oh, yeah, they'll get
you. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain. So
I think depending on the artist, you can still do it, but I'm not sure how that works. But why even bother?
Yeah, I don't want to put my body of work at jeopardy.
Oh, I mean, you use a lot of your original stuff. like the original music. You use that in the show, and I was talking to Tracy last night, and he was saying, you know, he does the same thing because it's like, why not? I mean, you have a body of work there. Why not maximize
use it?
Yeah, use it.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with with taking advantage of what you have. It's not like you're doing anything wrong. People are afraid to do that for some reason.
Yeah, I used to be a little bit reluctant, but now I've gone full circle where because I don't want, like I was saying before, I don't want to put the music use. Don't want it to jeopardise my show. But then I thought, if you're putting in all this work into building a platform for yourself, then you might as well take advantage of it. If you've got some product there to use, as long as you're not a dick about it, as long as you're not an idiot about it, you can, you can take advantage of that.
Do you think it's like a confidence in your work type of thing? I mean, I was always kind of like that too. I was always shy about sharing my music with everybody, you know what I mean?
I'm slowly starting to come around. It's partly confidence, but it's also I've always been very conscious of appearing to be a self-indulgent person. But to be an artist, it requires a little bit of self-indulgence because you're putting yourself out there. Whether you want it or not, you've already jumped over that chasm of parading your wares, so to speak. So you may as well go the whole hog and say, this is mine.
House band.
Yeah.
You are the Fizz Button house band, and the way you put your show together is very cool because you put it together like an actual production. I mean, there are a lot of podcasts that I listen to that are literally hit record, start the conversation, done. I like that because it's taking something that's very ordinary, say a conversation between two people, and you're able to get a lot more out of it when you have it in a recorded form that you can listen to over and over. You put your show together a completely different way. You know what I mean? You kind of go about it from an actual production perspective. It's almost like a little variety show because you have skits, you have everything.
Yeah. I like to record skits and put those in there, which there's a lot of potential. I think I'm only just scratching the surface there, but I really would like to build it into a variety show. I'm trying to encourage people to contribute segments. I'd like to get into radio dramas or radio comedies, like the old style.
Awesome.
Because I do have a few ideas there as well, and I'm really just testing the waters. The other thing is, because it's a platform, in short bursts, I'm trying character voices and stuff like that, and I can kind of road test it. If I make it at 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I can kind of test a few things out. But I'm very much going for that variety show type thing.
Your show is very organic, it flows from episode to episode very organically, and without without any interrupt in flow. Like, it's the things that will come about on one episode will carry to the next, and then they'll carry to the next, and they'll carry to the next. And it just happens because of the fact that your show is based on people that listen to the show. Your show is the audience for the most part. Other than you're the host and you are the house band and you do the skits and everything, but the meat of the show is you having a guest on and playing DJ for the entire show, giving you their top 10 songs of all time.
That's it. I'm kind of having my cake and eat it too, because I can, like I said before, showcase what I can do, but the show isn't all about me. If anything,
right,
it's about the guests that comes on who really shapes the show, but also the contributions Twitter-wise from the audience. So if I'm interacting with the audience and they're sending in tweets and I'm reading it out, they're very much shaping the show. Mm-hmm. And interaction is key to the show.
Oh yeah. You have people you got people on Twitter hitting you up during the show, posting pictures of their workstations, their computers, their phones, with Fizz Button playing. That's badass, dude.
Hey, thanks. Well, it's it sort of gains a new dimension with every episode, like Fizz Tag and Fizz Wizard. These kind of if you can associate some terminology to your show, I think that it's. Well, without even realizing it, we're building a community.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even. It's not like it's contrived. I mean, it just happened on its own. It's really cool, and that's why it's fun.
Yeah, that's right. I think. Adam Ads came up with Fizz Wizard, and I think Neo Savage and Yeston came up with Fizz Tag. So I'm very open to taking these things on board, and I say we as much as I can because it's my show. I suppose like I'm making the show, but I grant ownership to the audience as much as I can.
There's a really cool group on Twitter, and it's not just on Twitter, it's in real life too. There's a whole bunch of cool people that we're in touch with that make this really fun to do.
Yeah. I think, I can't remember where I heard it, but I feel a little bit like the bee out of that No Rain film clip.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what's the song called? Blind Melon, No Rain. It features this girl who's dressed up as a bee, and then she feels really out of place and everything, and then she finds this whole bunch of other bees. I feel like I've found my tribe, my bunch of freaks, or whatever you want to call it, whatever Joe Rogan says.
Yeah.
And once you make that connection with a bunch of people, you can really thrive within that sort of environment.
I hear you. Danny, I think it is time to play a track of yours, and you are going to have a song on the compilation that you're making happen, World of Rock Music Volume 2. It's going to be out August 19th for free, digital, huge booklet with Danny's comics, illustrations. They're going to take up the whole thing. We have a week ahead of us. This is going to be quite a task. You want to introduce the song?
This is a song that I actually got the title from Johnny Pemberton, who was on the Duncan Trussell Family Hour one time. He was talking about a bloke who was it sounds strange, but a fungus expert called Paul Stamets, and he had a talk called How Mushrooms Can Save the World. And mycelium is like the Earth's natural internet. It connects everything up, and the internet actually mimics it in terms of modes and the way it holds the whole Earth together. It's like a network of things, and I've always felt that things are all joined, that everything's connected, that coincidences are only what you get when you apply bad theory. So that was the basis for the song. I recorded it with a whole bunch of. For the first time, I made an album of just instrumentals. So this was the only one with the vocals on it. Actually recorded it on my iPhone. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to give away what the.
No. All that matters in the end is the sound. You can use whatever you like to record.
Well, that's what I used for this one. It was at a time when I didn't have much room, so I had to do the vocals actually in the bathroom. But
hey, you use what you got. You use what
exactly.
You got.
I've always been a big of the opinion that lack of resources is not an excuse at all. If you've got the will, you'll find a way. So
yeah, I agree.
So I made this whole album actually. It's called Problem is the Cure. And
it's on iTunes.
It's on iTunes, yeah. It's the only album I've ever managed to put up on iTunes. So I was pretty happy about that. And all made on my iPhone and on GarageBand. So anyone out there who says...
Can't talk crap about GarageBand either. It's a multi-tracker. At its core, it's a multi-tracker. If you can use it.
That's it. I shelled out the $5 to get it on my iPhone, and I would master it on the train and add tracks. It's very good for adding very lifelike instruments in there. You can just use the built-in mic on your iPhone. So anyone out there who's thinking about making an album and you don't think you've got the resources, you actually have a studio in your pocket. So so just pull it out and start recording, because it's easier than you think.
Yeah, what would you say your instrument is?
I probably the strongest of is the guitar.
Yeah.
I like to play the piano. I can't walk past the piano if I see it. I just love the feel of a piano.
I understand that.
Yeah, I like a nice piano that you can just feel resonating under your hands and everything. I love to sing.
Playing a piano is like writing with a brand new Sharpie.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's like
There's a whole world in a piano.
And it allows you to play and write differently on the fly than you can on the guitar. You're going to come up with a very different...
That's right. Yeah, you're playing with a whole new... you're in a whole different paradigm or something. I like how you can play rhythm and melody at the same time. And I like to play the harmonica when I play the guitar. I'll have a go at anything, bass, but whatever's laying around.
I'm getting into bass a lot too now.
Right. With that, what would your main instrument be?
Guitar, for sure.
Guitar.
Yeah, I spent 10 years with it.
Yeah.
Now
Right.
I'm getting into the other stuff. Now I'm starting to really dig what the piano can do for me.
Yeah.
Never really got it until now. I mean, it took 10 years to kind of...
Yeah, the potential there.
Yeah. All right, so we, Danny?
So this is Mycelium by me, Danny Pinn.
Tower waiting for a long, long time. A neon gland is there between your ears. Desire is the root of all unhappiness, but you won't give it up out of fear. I'm filling it up, I'm filling it in, I'm living it up, I'm looking within, I'm setting it up, I'm settling in, my silly heart, my silly keep on handing you nails while you scale the cross. For what it's worth, you're losing your way. The rudimentary scent is playing toss the boss, giving birth to the state of play. I'm filling it up, I'm filling it in, I'm living it up, I'm looking within, I'm setting it up, I'm settling in, my silly heart, my silly end. My silly heart, my silly end, 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 my silly heart, my silly end. My silly heart, my silly end.